Thank you. Firstly, I feel very lucky to have my essay included in Unquiet Spirits at all, alongside all the other wonderful essays in it. I was a late addition to the collection because my mother, Lee Murray, sent me her essay, as she often does, to give it a final edit. And her essay, as you've just heard, discussed the hungry ghost mythology and links that to our family history. And because it's a story about diaspora and displacement and how our family has changed over time, it includes some things that I had not known about our family, or even just little things that I hadn't thought of. I wasn't familiar with the joss sticks and things like that. And so reading that essay inspired a lot of feelings in me, and I didn't know what to do with those. So I turned them into my own essay, which builds on a lot of the ideas that she included in hers. I chose the Huli Jing, the fox spirit, which is a creature that takes on the shape of other people, an element in its mythology that I relate to a lot as a person with mixed cultural heritage. I think that the fox spirit is a monster that has a lot to say about fitting in and the fear of being different and excluded and possibly even persecuted if you don't fit in, and the things that you have to do to be accepted into a community that might not be the one that you were originally from, or perhaps there isn't a community that encompasses everything that you're made up of. And I think that the fox spirit is a lot about wishing you could access more about who or even what you are. And so that's why I chose the fox spirit for my essay. I'm going to read from an excerpt from the start of my essay in Unquiet Spirits, which is called Fox Daughter. A few years ago, my partner and I visited Dunedin's Lanyuan Chinese Gardens, the only authentic Chinese garden in New Zealand and one of very few outside of China. The design of the garden is perfectly cultivated to reflect the harmony of nature, its winding paths offering glimpses of the landscape, each angle giving a new view of the trees, pagodas, river, and lake, an arranged beauty made of many facets that cannot be perceived all at once. Along the outer wall of Lanyuan is a corridor with information about the history of the Chinese community in New Zealand. Near the end of the corridor, a panel describes the ships sent to return the remains of dead miners to China, the loss of the SS Ventnor, and the souls she was meant to transport home. Their families left grieving an irreparable loss, predecessors of people just like me, a Chinese New Zealander on my mother's side. When I read about the SS Ventnor, a creature inside me snarled in pain. Then, this summer, when I visited my paternal grandmother, I asked her to tell me about our Māori lineage. She brought out a cardboard box filled with Scottish history, family trees, crests, tartan. Among the memorabilia were 2 photos and a slip of paper. The paper included the name of my iwi, my tribe, and a list of daughters and the Scotsmen they married. The first of the photos was a copy of the Charles Frederick Goldie painting of my ancestor Atama Paparangi, a famous Māori chieftain. The second was a minuscule photograph of the first mixed Māori Pākehā woman in our family, a new face of a woman who caused a metamorphosis in our history. She was the first step towards newness. I thought about her values, the knowledge she brought from her ancestors, and the cultural texture that never made it to me. In her eyes, I see a fox, a spirit that now lives in me, and we're angry, feral. We want retribution. Help! It's trapped in my ribcage. Jagged little teeth, needling claws, frenzied scrabbling and biting. It hurts me all the time. I want you to love it. The Huli Jing is a Chinese 9-tailed fox demon, a shapeshifter capable of appearing human, but often at a cost. In some forms, the fox must kill and consume human flesh. Others must search for human skulls to fit over the head before they can transform. Then there's an excerpt from The Ninth Tale by Rena Mason, which was published in Black Cranes. The fox spirit straightened the skull cap, moist with blood, atop her head, then stepped over the decapitated corpse from which she'd taken it. Her hind paws transformed into petite human lotus feet, adorned in pointy shoes embroidered with golden silk. This visit, her name would be Juhua, like the chrysanthemums woven into the fabric near her toes. The 8 tails behind the fox spirit became long braids, winding themselves into intricate loops and circles, concealing the bone that aided her in keeping a human guise. Tottering on useless feet, Zhu couldn't roll the headless woman down the hillside. She kicked the body, wincing as pain ravaged the deformed foot and shot up her leg and into her torso. And then my essay continues. Fox demons are contradictory creatures, often malevolent and dangerous. However, they also contain the capacity to be good. Though she is a demon, the Hulijing is a spirit who, through perseverance, might become a celestial being. This endeavor may take 100 or even 1,000 years to achieve, and may leave a trail of viscera and bone behind her. Thus, the essence of the fox demon is a painful yearning to be more than what they are. As a queer woman from Aotearoa with both Chinese and Maori heritage and an invisible disability, this absence of a complete identity claws at my heart. I am perpetually a minority, consistently faced with the threat of not enoughness, filled with an ever-present hunger for more of myself. Am I afraid of being a ghost, or jealous that they can disappear and I cannot? Thank you.